I, 28F, find myself in a complicated situation with my boyfriend Samuel, 30M, and I'm struggling to see a clear path forward. We've been together for 5 years, and for the most part, our relationship has been great. Samuel is intelligent, has a great sense of humor, and we share many common interests. We met during our final year of college when we were both volunteering at a local animal shelter. I remember being impressed by how gentle he was with the scared, abused dogs. We bonded over our love for animals and our shared dream of traveling the world. After graduation, we moved in together and started building our life. We adopted 2 rescue cats, Milo and Luna, and spent weekends exploring nearby hiking trails or trying out new restaurants in the city. Samuel works as a software engineer, and I'm a marketing coordinator for a nonprofit organization. We had plans to save up for a house and eventually start a family of our own. But recent events have thrown all of those plans into question. To give you some context, I come from a large, blended family. My parents divorced when I was 12, which was a difficult time for all of us. My dad moved to another state for work, and while we stayed in touch, our relationship became more distant. My mom remarried when I was 15 to my stepdad, Andrew, 52M. Andrew seemed nice enough at first, but looking back, there were signs that he struggled with alcohol even then. Andrew brought 2 kids into the family, my stepbrother Charlie, 25M, and stepsister Cindy, 23F. The transition wasn't easy. I resented having to share my mom's attention and felt like an outsider in my own home. Charlie and I butted heads constantly, competing for the oldest child role. Cindy, being the youngest at the time, often got caught in the middle of our arguments. It took time, but eventually, we found our rhythm as a family. My mom had a way of bringing people together, always organizing family game nights or weekend trips to the lake. She encouraged us to support each other's interests, attending Charlie's basketball games, cheering for Cindy at her dance recitals, and helping me with my school newspaper articles. Over time, the step-sibling boundaries blurred, and we became genuinely close. A few years after Mom and Andrew got married, they had 2 more kids together, my half-brother Max, 16M, and half-sister Terry, 18F. I was in high school by then and initially felt a bit jealous of the new babies. But as they grew, I found myself taking on a protective big sister role. I taught Terry how to ride a bike and helped Max with his reading when he was struggling in elementary school. Last year, our world was turned upside down when Mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. It came out of nowhere. She had always been healthy, never smoked a day in her life. The diagnosis hit us all hard, but we rallied around her. I took time off work to drive her to chemo appointments. Charlie flew in from out of state every other weekend to help out. Cindy put her college plans on hold to be at home more. Mom fought hard, but the cancer was aggressive. She passed away 6 months ago, just 2 weeks after her 50th birthday. We were all devastated, but Andrew took it especially hard. He had always enjoyed a drink or 2 in the evenings, but after Mom died, his drinking spiraled out of control. He'd disappear for days at a time, leaving the younger kids to fend for themselves. Charlie and I tried to step in where we could, but we both had jobs and our own lives to manage. About 2 months ago, I got a frantic call from Terry. She was in tears, saying that Andrew had left town suddenly and abandoned her, Max, and Cindy. Apparently, he had emptied their bank accounts, including the kids' savings accounts that Mom had set up for their college funds. He left a note saying he couldn't handle it anymore and just took off, leaving the kids alone in the house with no money and barely any food. I immediately drove over to the house, my heart pounding the whole way. When I arrived, I found the place in complete disarray. There were empty liquor bottles scattered around, unopened bills piled up on the counter, and a stack of past due notices from the utility companies. The fridge was nearly empty except for some moldy leftovers and a few cans of soda. Terry, Max, and Cindy were huddled together on the couch, looking scared and confused. I called our older brother Ryan, 26M, right away, and we agreed that the younger siblings needed to come stay with us for the time being. Ryan has a house with a spare bedroom, so he took in Max. I have a small 2-bedroom apartment, but I told Terry and Cindy they could stay with me. It was a tight squeeze, but we made it work. I had to take a leave of absence from my job to help get the kids settled and deal with all the legal and financial issues that came with Andrew's abandonment. This is where the problems with Samuel started to surface. When I first told him about the situation, he was supportive. He helped me set up the spare room for the girls and even went grocery shopping to stock up on their favorite foods. But as the weeks went on and it became clear that this wasn't just a short-term arrangement, Samuel started to get frustrated. He complained about the lack of privacy, saying he felt like he couldn't relax in his own home anymore. He grumbled about the increased grocery bills and utility costs. But what hurt the most was when he accused me of neglecting our relationship to focus on my siblings. I tried to explain to Samuel that this was a family emergency and that I didn't have a choice, these kids had no one else. Our dad has his own new family now and lives across the country. Andrew's family washed their hands of the situation, saying they had their own problems to deal with. It was up to me and Ryan to step up and be there for our younger siblings. But Samuel kept pushing back. He said I was parenting my adult siblings and enabling them to be dependent on me. He suggested we look into putting Max in foster care and finding a women's shelter for Terry and Cindy so we could get our lives back to normal. I was shocked that he would even suggest such a thing. These are my siblings, not some random kids we could just ship off to strangers. I told Samuel absolutely not, that my siblings were staying with us, and that if he couldn't support me through this difficult time, then maybe we needed to reevaluate our relationship. He accused me of being irrational and said I was choosing my family over him. I don't see it that way at all. I'm just trying to do the right thing and be there for my siblings when they need me most. Now Samuel is threatening to move out if I don't set some boundaries with my siblings. He says he didn't sign up for instant parenthood and that we're putting our life plans on hold for my family's drama. Part of me understands his frustration. This isn't what either of us planned for our late 20s. But a bigger part of me is disappointed and hurt that he can't see how important this is to me. I'm at a loss for what to do. Samuel and I have built a life together over the past 5 years. We've talked about marriage and kids of our own someday. I love him and the life we've created. But I also love my siblings, and I'm not going to abandon them when they've already lost so much. They're still dealing with the grief of losing Mom, and now they're grappling with feelings of abandonment from Andrew. They need stability and support now more than ever. Am I being unreasonable here? Should I be doing more to balance my relationship with my family obligations? I just don't know how to move forward from this. Any advice would be appreciated. Update 1. Thank you all for the supportive comments on my original post. I really appreciated hearing your perspectives and advice. It's been about a month since I last posted, and I wanted to give an update on the situation, as a lot has happened. After reading through all of your comments, I realized I needed to have a serious, in-depth conversation with Samuel about our relationship and the current circumstances with my siblings. I asked my aunt to watch the kids for an evening so Samuel and I could have some uninterrupted time to talk. I started by acknowledging that I hadn't been as attentive to our relationship lately and that the sudden change in our living situation was difficult. I explained again how important it was to me to be there for my family during this crisis, drawing parallels to how supportive his family had been when his dad was sick a few years ago. I also opened up about my own struggles, the grief of losing Mom, the anger and betrayal I felt towards Andrew, and the overwhelming responsibility I now felt for my younger siblings. I admitted that I was scared and unsure about the future, but that I knew in my heart I was doing the right thing. Samuel listened, and for a moment, I thought we might find a way to work through this. He said he understood why I felt the need to help my siblings, but ultimately, he couldn't accept the current arrangement. He said he felt like our life plans were being derailed and that he didn't sign up to be an instant parent to my teenage siblings. We spent hours talking, trying to find a compromise. I suggested maybe we could look for a bigger apartment, or set up more structured alone time for us. But Samuel was adamant that he wasn't ready for this level of family responsibility. He said he needed space to think about whether he could continue in this relationship long term. It was a painful conversation, but as we talked, I realized that our values and priorities just weren't aligning anymore. As much as I care for Samuel, I know I'm doing the right thing for my family. I can't and won't abandon my siblings when they need me most. The next day, Samuel packed up some of his things and moved in with a friend. He said he needs time to think about everything. I'm sad, but also feeling a strange sense of relief. The tension in the apartment had been palpable, and now I can focus on my siblings without feeling guilty about neglecting my relationship. In the meantime, I've been focusing on getting Terry, Max, and Cindy settled into a routine. We found a lawyer who specializes in family law to help us navigate the legal issues around Andrew abandoning his parental responsibilities. It turns out he not only emptied the household accounts, but also cleared out college funds that Mom had set up for the kids years ago. We're working on tracking him down and seeing what legal recourse we have. I also reached out to my mom's side of the family for help. My Aunt Susan, 55F, has been amazing. She's been coming over regularly to help with cooking, laundry, and just giving the kids some extra emotional support. My cousins have also stepped up, taking the kids out for fun activities on weekends to give me a bit of a break. Work has been surprisingly understanding about my situation. My boss lost his own parents at a young age, so he's been incredibly empathetic. They've allowed me to shift to a part-time, work-from-home arrangement for now. It's a bit of a financial hit, but it allows me to be there for the kids while still keeping my job. I'm also looking into what kind of assistance programs we might qualify for to help with expenses. Terry has been my rock through all of this. Despite being only 18, she's shown incredible maturity and strength. She's taken on a lot of responsibility with household chores and helping Max and Cindy with schoolwork. She even started a part-time job at a local cafe to contribute to the household expenses, despite my insistence that she doesn't need to. I'm so proud of how she's handling everything. Max is struggling the most with all the changes. He's been having trouble in school, his grades slipping, and he's been acting out at home. I found a counselor who specializes in adolescent trauma, and he started weekly sessions. It's early days, but I'm hopeful it will help him process everything that's happened. In the meantime, I've been trying to spend one-on-one time with him, reviving our old tradition of Sunday morning pancakes and board games. Cindy has thrown herself into her art as a way of coping. She's always been creative, but lately, she's been producing some really powerful pieces. I've been encouraging her to pursue it, and we set up a little studio space in the corner of the living room for her to work on her paintings. It seems to really help her mood to have that creative outlet. As for me, I'm taking it one day at a time. There are moments when it all feels overwhelming, juggling work, household responsibilities, and the kids' emotional needs. But then there are moments of unexpected joy, like when we all end up in a giggle fit over a failed attempt at making homemade pizza, or when Terry and Cindy team up to prank Max, just like they used to when they were little. I miss Samuel, and part of me hopes he'll come around. We've exchanged a few texts, mostly about practical matters like him picking up more of his things. But I also know that I can't compromise on being there for my family. If he can't accept that, then maybe we're just not meant to be. For now, I'm focused on healing and creating a stable home for my siblings. Thank you all again for your support and advice. It's been a comfort knowing I have this community to turn to during tough times. I'll update again if there are any major developments. Update 2. It's been about 3 months since my last update, and I wanted to share some developments in our situation. First, the good news: we finally heard from Andrew. He reached out through his sister, apparently feeling remorseful about leaving the kids. It turns out he's been in rehab for the past 2 months getting treatment for his alcohol addiction. While I'm glad he's getting help, it doesn't erase the harm he's caused. We're proceeding cautiously and have made it clear that he needs to make amends and prove he can be responsible before he can be part of the kids' lives again. Andrew has agreed to pay back the money he took from the college funds and household accounts. It's going to take time, but at least it's a start. We're working with a mediator to set up a formal agreement and repayment plan. The kids have mixed feelings about Andrew's return. There's a lot of hurt and betrayal to work through. On the home front, things have settled into a routine. Terry decided to defer her college plans for a year to help out at home, which I feel guilty about but also incredibly grateful for. She's been taking some online classes and working part-time at a local cafe. Her maturity and resilience continue to amaze me. She's talking about studying psychology now, inspired by everything our family has been through. Max is doing better with the help of his counselor. He's joined the school's drama club, which has been a great outlet for him. His grades are improving, and he's starting to talk more about his feelings instead of acting out. Last week, he came home excited about a monologue he's preparing for the school play. It was the first time I've seen him genuinely enthusiastic about something in months. Cindy had her first art show at a local community center. It was a small event, but seeing her beaming with pride as people admired her work was a beautiful moment. She sold 3 paintings and used the money to buy art supplies for a children's shelter. She's talking about applying to art schools next year, and I'm doing everything I can to encourage her dreams. As for me, I've been promoted at work to a position that allows more flexibility with my schedule. The increased income has been a huge help in managing our expenses. I've also started taking an online course in family counseling, hoping to better equip myself to support my siblings through this transition. It's challenging balancing work, studies, and family responsibilities, but it feels good to be working towards something positive. Samuel and I have had some contact over the past few months. He's expressed regret about how he handled things and has asked to meet up and talk. Part of me wants to hear him out, but I'm also wary of disrupting the stability we've managed to create. I haven't decided yet if I'm ready to have that conversation. The kids have asked about him a few times, especially Max, who had grown close to Samuel over the years. My Aunt Susan has been an absolute godsend. She's basically become a second parent to the kids, coming over several times a week to help out. She's even talking about moving closer to us to be more involved. Her support has made a world of difference, both practically and emotionally. There have been challenges, of course. The apartment feels cramped with four of us, and there are still days when the stress feels overwhelming. But we're making it work, and there's a lot more laughter in our home now than there was a few months ago. We've started a tradition of Friday night movie marathons, complete with homemade popcorn and silly commentary. I'm proud of how far we've come as a family unit. It's not the life I imagined for myself at 28, but I wouldn't change it. My siblings are thriving despite everything they've been through, and that makes all the sacrifices worth it. We're not just surviving anymore, we're starting to build something new together. Thank you all for your continued support and advice. It's been a comfort knowing I have this community to turn to during tough times. I'll update again if there are any significant changes in our situation. Update 3. It's been 6 months since my last update, and I wanted to share some final thoughts on our journey. The biggest news is that we've moved. With Andrew's repayments and my increased income, we were able to rent a small house in a nice neighborhood. Having more space has made a world of difference for everyone's mood and well-being. Each kid now has their own room, which has really helped with privacy issues and given them a sense of personal space. We even have a small backyard where we've started a vegetable garden. It's become a fun family project and a great way to teach the kids about responsibility and patience. Terry has decided to start college this fall. She'll be living on campus but close enough to visit often. I'm so proud of her for balancing her own goals with family responsibilities this past year. She's planning to major in social work, inspired by our experiences and the help we received during tough times. It's bittersweet to see her go, but I know she's ready for this next chapter. Max is thriving in high school now. He made the honor roll last semester and has a close group of friends from the drama club. His confidence has grown so much. Last month he landed the lead role in the school play. His relationship with Andrew is still strained, but they're working on it in family therapy sessions. It's slow progress, but I'm hopeful. Cindy got accepted into a prestigious art program for high school students. Her talent continues to flourish, and she's talking about studying art therapy in college to help other kids who've been through trauma. She's even started volunteering at a local children's hospital, doing art projects with long-term patients. Seeing her find purpose in her pain has been incredibly moving. Andrew has maintained his sobriety and is slowly rebuilding relationships with the kids. He's moved back to town and sees them regularly under supervised visits. It's a work in progress, but he's putting in the effort. He's attending AA meetings regularly and has started volunteering at a homeless shelter. The kids are cautiously optimistic, but it will take time to rebuild trust. As for Samuel, we did meet up a few months ago. While it was good to get closure, we both realized we've grown in different directions. Our priorities and life goals just don't align anymore. We parted on friendly terms, but I know now that our relationship had run its course. It was painful, but I feel at peace with the decision. I've completed my family counseling course and am considering pursuing a degree in social work. This experience has shown me how much I enjoy helping families navigate difficult times. I've even started volunteering at a support group for young adults who are caring for younger siblings. Looking back, I'm amazed at how much has changed in a year. There were moments when it felt impossible, but we made it through together. My siblings and I are closer than ever, and while our family looks different now, it's strong and full of love. We still have challenges, of course. There are days when the responsibility feels overwhelming, or when grief hits us unexpectedly. But we've learned to lean on each other and to celebrate the small victories. Last week, we had a family game night that ended in a massive pillow fight, something that wouldn't have seemed possible a year ago. I've learned so much about resilience, love, and the true meaning of family through this experience. It wasn't the path I expected my life to take, but I wouldn't change it. Seeing my siblings heal and thrive despite everything they've been through has been the most rewarding experience of my life. To anyone out there facing similar challenges, know that it does get better. With love, patience, and perseverance, you can build something beautiful out of even the most difficult circumstances. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Thank you all for being part of this journey with me. Your support and advice have been invaluable. While this will be my last update, I'll carry the lessons I've learned from this community with me always. Here's to new beginnings and the families we choose to build.